Hi guys, how's everyone doing? My name is Mike, and today I'm going to show you how to do some PBR shading. Photo-based realism, that's what it's called, or just some realistic texturing. So without any chit chat, let's just jump into it. So first things first, we're going to delete the default cube. Sorry about that, buddy. You have to go. Then we're going to add a little plane. Shift A or just object add. Cool. Now I'm in edit mode. I'm just going to scale this guy up a little bit so you can see what we're doing. Next step, UV mapping. Well, it comes with a UV map, but it's not that great, so we're just going to go in there and delete that UV map. Next step is to make our own UV map. Into edit mode, select all, and then smart UV project. You can tap A to select all, or double tap to deselect all. Cool, so now it's UV mapped. We're going to go into the shader editor, and as you can see, there's no material, so we're just going to add one quickly here on the right hand side. Material tab, add new. All there, doesn't make a difference. Cool, as you can see, nothing is in it. I'm going to show you two ways, quick way and the long way. First, the long way. So shift A, add a texture, image texture, yellow to base color, and it's called the diffuse or the albedo, depends which site you're getting your textures from, but I put a link in the description for the textures I'm using. Free to download, super easy. Next we're going to add the roughness map, and you won't see the difference yet, but we're going to do some working on that and then it'll look a lot better. Next up, normal map. That's going to show a little bump in the texture, so it looks a bit more realistic. And now we're going to do a little conversion. So into vector we go, add either bump or normal map, but I'm using normal map for this one. Same thing really. So yellow to yellow, purple to purple. There you go. Just going to change these to non-color because they're not using RGB. Yeah, it still doesn't look great, but we'll get there. First, I was trying to change the UV mapping on this so we get a better tiling effect. So into the UV editor, and you can change the display just by changing it up here. Displays which map you're viewing. That's our diffuse. Just going to select all and just scale it up a little bit to get a better tiling texture. Cool, back into shader editor, and now we're going to fix up that roughness map so we get a nice shine to it. And for this we're going to use a color ramp. Pop that in there, and let me just show you the theory behind all of this. So you see, white's going to be non-reflective, black a lot of reflection. So white for dry, black for wet. So you're just going to set this guy halfway, and as you can see, we get a shine on. Just going to move the light a little bit so we can see a bit better. And there you go, instant PS3 graphics. I'm really loving EEVEE in the new Blender 2.8, 2.9. It's a game changer, and yeah, this is probably the best way to view your assets before you put them into a game engine. If it looks good in EEVEE, it's going to look a lot better in your game engine. Yeah, so that was just your basic PBR, and now I'm going to show you a little trick for doing displacement, and you can use that for backgrounds or whatever. Not really optimized for game engines, but for rendering backgrounds and stuff in Blender, really cool. So I just duplicated that plane, shift D, move to the side, and this one's a bit more technical, but it's really good for doing backgrounds. So I'm just going to subdivide this plane 7 times, 8 times. You don't have to do it this much, but it's just for example, so yeah, bear with me. So I've subdivided this plane, And now we're going to add a displacement modifier. In the modifiers tab, add displacement, mid-level to 0. Now I can see the plane moved a bit, but don't worry about that. Add new texture, boom, centered itself again. And now we're going to go into the texture tab underneath materials. You could either use new or open. We're going to go open here, back to our textures we saved from the site, displacement. And as you can see, this looks super weird. Firstly, because smooth shading is not on. We're going to put that on now. And then just tweak some of the parameters here. First, direction to Z, because that's what we want. Z is facing up. And texture coordinates UV. Okay. And just pop that strength up a bit. And boom, we have displacement. But it's still looking a bit strange because our UV map is a bit weird. And we're going to adjust that now, so it sits a bit better on the UV map and gives a better overall. Cool, so it's going to hop back into UV editor quickly. Back into edit mode, and now this looks super weird, but it's because it's so highly subdivided. And now I'm just going to move this guy a bit around. That's just G. Select all and then G. And there, displaced. And then I want to show you guys the quick way to set up your textures as well, using the Node Wrangler add-on, which is in Blender by default. Cool, so now let me just show you the quick way to do this. So first of all, we just want to activate the add-on. So go into preferences. In the search bar, just search for Node Wrangler. Okay, mine is already activated, but for you, just activate that. Bloop. It's going to select the object. It's already UV mapped because we just duplicated the middle plane, which we already set up in the previous part. Open up our shader editor again, and as you can see, nothing on there. Just click your shader, Control Shift T. That activates the add-on. We go back to our textures, select the textures you want, Control Select, boom. In one step, it's all done. But as you can see, the roughness map isn't in there. Well, the color ramp for the roughness map. So we're just going to copy that from our old texture. Control C, Control V, boom. Super quick and easy. So you can use either one of those. I prefer the long way, but if you're doing a big project, Node Wrangler does a really good job of this. I hope you guys learned something, and yeah, enjoy.